my daughter had like a freak. She was like, Mom, oh my God, that's so cute. Well, hello. Today we are in my car. I have a Kia, in case if anybody was wondering. I'm using my neck cam. There it is. Because I'm in line at school to pick up my daughter, and the lines have been crazy, so I came up here an hour early. And I thought, what can I do for an hour? And then I thought, you know what I've been really wanting to try? I really want to make a scrunchie, like a hair scrunchie with yarn. So I'm going to make a crochet hair scrunchie. And I know generally the size that I'm looking for. So I make my slip knot. And then I'm going to make a chain. Merp. I may have got that a little tight. There we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I guess I could show you guys what I'm doing. So this is a USJ 10 6mm hook, and I like to use the, I believe it's called inline, where it's got a sharper hook instead of where it's circled. I don't know what the circle ones are called, but I think this one's called an inline. Anyway, so we are going to chain. That's what I'm doing right now, where you just make little well, they're called chains. That's what they're called. And I'm gonna make it about 20-ish inches, if I can figure out exactly how much that is while I'm here in my car, because I did not bring my ruler with me. And I just have my ball of yarn in a bag. Hold on, no, I'll show you. There's 2 balls in there, but, well, here's my scissors, and there's my stretchy piece, and here's another yarn that I brought just in case, and then there is my, that's what I'm working with, is that color right there. And I've used this color for multiple things, but I just have it in the bag, and I just pull and it stays inside of the bag. Let's see. I think that's good. So I'm going to do 2 more, and then I'm going to come back 2 away from where I was, and I'm going to do a double stitch. So I'm just going to insert, I'm going to try and get closer you guys, so you guys can see. I wrapped my string around, and then I'm going to insert my hook right there, grab the yarn and pull it through. So now I have 3 on my hook, and then I'm going to wrap around again and pull that one through the first 2. Now I have 2, wrap again and pull it through. So that's our first stitch, and now we have a new starting point. So we'll wrap around again, slip through, grab, pull through, and that's super simple, and we're just going to go all the way down doing that method. So here we go. Alright, we're coming close to the end of our piece. This is our last one. This is where we started, so we'll go right into the top and pull through, make our 2 stitches, and then I will stitch 2 more to imitate this first stitch, because we're going to start on the second one. We're going to start here over on this side when we flip it. So I'm imitating this first stitch by doing 2 chains, and then we're going to flip it over and we're going to work back across this way. So I'm going to start in this first, let's get a little closer. There's a little hole, and I'm going to start right there, and I'm just going to grab, and I'm going to do the exact same things. So now it looks like a straight line up, and we've connected. And we're just going to work all the way back to the other end, doing the exact same thing. Okay, we're at the other end of our row, and this is where we went from our long chain, and then I moved back 2 spaces, and I started in the first, in the one that was 2 away from where my hook was at the time. And so here's the 2 stitches. So this is where we're going to do our last one for this row, is in the top of those 2 stitches, and this makes our straight line. We're going to do 2 chains up. I think I'm going to end up doing 4 or 5 rows to make it as thick as I want it to be. And I hope I have enough time to do that here in the car. Otherwise, I will pause the video and then pick back up at the house. Okay guys, we are done with this part. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to connect these 2 pieces together all along the bottom and the top. There should be the exact same number of stitches all the way across, although the part where we chained is a little bit tighter than the part on the top, which has stretched out a bit. So we're gonna just put them together and we're gonna stitch our way back across, and I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna do that. So I've got this tail piece, which I'm gonna tuck out of the way. What I'm going to do is try and line them up as best I can, and if it's not lined up perfectly, it'll be fine. I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to go through the top here and the top here. I'm going to grab my string, pull through, and so now that's connected. So I'm just going to try and keep it lined up, and I should be able to just poke right through and grab. Oh, here, let me come over this way so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm just poking through, and it doesn't have to be perfectly on the stitch. As long as we're connecting the whole thing together, it should work just fine. And then I'm going to pull this to make a knot. Okay, this is rather giantous, but when we squish it down, it'll be like small. Maybe I should have done one that's not quite as thick, but I'm going to stitch these pieces in, which I do by just pulling them through randomly and then tying them off like that. And then I will do a couple more knots just to try and hold it in place. And I think that's probably going to be good after this one. Okay, I'll set that down, grab my scissors out again, beep up, and I will snip just above where I tied it off. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I've already knotted it once or twice, but I'm going to pull it through and then tie it off like this. Pull a knot. And then when I do my other one, I try and wrap around the first knot that I did. So if you'll see, here's the knot that I did last time, and then I'm going to wrap around it. Oh. And there's that one. We're going to put this up, and then we're going to cut this string. And I was thinking about running the elastic through, and I think I figured out the best way to do it without causing too many issues. And I'm going to wait until I get home to do it because I don't have what I need with me. So we're going to pause this. I'm going to put, oh, get rid of that. I'm going to put this in, there's where I bundled it up a little bit. It's fine. I'm going to put this in my bag, and then we're going to go home and I'll do the elastic. Okay guys, we're home. And this is the tool that I was talking about. It's actually like it's a crochet hook that's intended to do knitting type stuff, I believe. I don't actually know what it's called. But my thought was I could run this through and grab onto the elastic and then pull the elastic through. And that would be 10 times easier than anything else I could think of doing. So I'm gonna do a knot in the end of a long thing of elastic. And then I'm gonna run this through here. Oh, and see if I can manage to get it all the way through. Oh, not like that. Not like that. Almost got it. Almost. And we're through. So I'm going to hook this piece onto here, and then I'm going to pull it through. Da-da, da-da, da-da. Okay, I'm gonna move that, pull this out, and then I'm going to pull this elastic pretty tight. So that I can tie it. Perfect. Here's my scissors. And I'm going to boop. All right. Now we have this. And I'm going to take out my hook, which is tangled up in another yarn. And then the end of this, wherever that is, there it is. And I'm going to close this up around the elastic. And it is quite bunchy, and I'll take a picture. I'll totally wear it and take a picture. So let's see, make myself a slip knot. Bruh. And then I'm gonna start here and then start attaching it. Okay, now I'm going to cut this, boop, and I'm gonna pull this through, and now we have our two end pieces together, and I'm just gonna tie them up. And then snip, we have our scrunchie. This yarn I think was too thick. I think that's my verdict, is that this yarn was too thick, but I'm still gonna try it on and take a little picture so I can show you guys how it looks in my hair. Here we go. Okay, so a couple of ideas. The scrunchie worked. It's totally scrunchie-like, scrunchie-esque, scrunchie-like. Anyways, it's kind of like a scrunchie, but I would suggest if you guys try this, and I think that you should try it because it definitely worked. It just has a little thickness. I would suggest a thinner yarn than the one that I used. See the difference in the thickness? This is like 2 or 3 times as thick as that. If I had done this yarn, I think it would have made for a more flexible and workable scrunchie than what we actually ended up with. I made a scrunchie with the other yarn that I had showed you guys yesterday, and I wanted to show you it worked so much better. I was able to get the thread through. You can kind of see it there, the white elastic, and it's not as bunchy. It's super like malleable, and so this totally works. You just have to pick the right yarn for it, because the super thick yarn didn't work, but the thin yarn worked perfectly. I even wore this, I put it in my hair and I wore it at the store, and I think that it's super adorable. My daughter had like a freak. She was like, Mom, oh my God, that's so cute. So totally give this a try, guys, and then let me know in the comments how it works out for you. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the little bell so you know whenever I'm gonna do more content, And the best way to help me out on my channel is to share this video with your friends, anyone who you have in your life that's a crafter that you think might find this interesting. I will see you guys next time. Later.